the lawyers in that deposition were very meticulous. They brought a copy of what was submitted to INEC, and they began with the seal that was on that certificate. Asked the Chicago State University Registrar whether he was aware whether that seal belonged to their school, and they answered in the negative. Asked about the signatures and some of the other notations on the certificate, and they answered that no, that was not the Chicago State University diploma, which essentially and basically means that the document the Mr. Bola Tinubu, who is sitting in Aso Rock as the president, submitted to INEC was not a document that emanated from Chicago State University. In essence, it is a forgery. Now, this basics is, I mean, it suffices. It was all that was required. So we actually appreciate the efforts of the People Democratic Party and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar who took the extra step, because this rumor has been whiling away in Nigeria for over 2 decades. Is this man who he says he is? Did he actually go to this school? Was it Chicago State University or University of Chicago? But from this effort, from this deposition, all doubts have been cleared. Now, if you look at these 4 issues I mentioned, the fact that the Government College Lagos was non-existent when Mr. Bola Tinubu claimed to be attended, the fact that there was a high school that was attended by the person who came into Chicago State University, and the person who came in was female, and the fact that, yes, B8 Bola Tinubu graduated, and the final clincher, that a forged document was submitted to INEC. Now, which is the most, for legal purposes, which was the most critical? The Nigerian Constitution clearly states, without equivocation, in very, very simple language, that anybody who submits a forged document to Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is not qualified to contest for presidency, should be disqualified. I mean, in very clear terms, there is no ambiguity. It just says it in clear words. Section 137, subsection 1, paragraph J, that anybody who submits a forged document to INEC is not qualified for election, to be a candidate for election. Now, that is the unfortunate situation that Mr. Bola Tinubu finds himself. And then he's not qualified. So some of us have repeatedly called him a placeholder president because he was declared as the president-elect unconstitutionally by Mahmoud Yakubu, the INEC chairman. Good enough for everybody. In the course of the past 1 week, the Nigerian Chief Justice, Ariwola, came out and categorically stated that the Nigerian courts are not swayed by public opinion, rather by the wordings and realities of our laws. And the ground norm of our laws, the fundamental of our laws is the Nigerian Constitution, which has clearly stated, like I said, in section 137, subsection 1, paragraph J, that if you have submitted a fake or forged document to INEC, you are not qualified for elections. So by his own words, the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, Ariwola, has told Nigerians the judgment of this case, because the issues are very clear. Is it a forged document? Yes. And we have an example that was not too long ago. A few months back, a young girl in Nigeria called Mesoma from Anambra State. She rigged her papers, came out as the highest scorer in JAM. But all it took to reveal to Nigerians that she was a fraudster was when the issuing authority of that result, in this case, the JAM, which is the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, said, we did not issue this certificate this girl is parading. And that was it. The issues have been cleared. If the issuing authority disassociates itself from the certificate you are parading, says we don't know what document you are holding, it did not come out from us, it did not emanate from us, if an issue of forgery has been established. And so the critical question is this: the person who deposed, who made the deposition in the court in Chicago, is it the authorized person to depose or make the positions for Chicago State University? If the answer is yes, and he totally discountenanced and denied the documents Mr. Tinubu submitted to INEC, that means the issues are over. So we hope that the Chief Justice Ariwoola will live up to his words and not be swayed by any public opinion. Go straight to the law. The law is very, very clear on this. So it has been a very wonderful experience for Nigerians, this whole process. Because like some of us have said, it has actually exposed the fault lines in Nigeria to the core. And it has made some people who thought, I mean, there must be a limit to rascality, to now realize that perhaps that limit we thought might be broader or lengthier than we thought. It has also told us that those who we had respected earlier, who we thought were like thin gods, who we thought were like without blemish, like they say in Igbo land, when the breeze blows, we will see the ass of the cock. It appears that this Tinubu scenario has been like the wind has blown, and Nigerians have seen several asses. And one of them is that some of the religious leaders who were held in high esteem have proven themselves to be men of clay feet. Even a Nobel laureate who was erstwhile very respected has proven himself to be an ethnic champion with the mannerisms he has adopted. And the whole idea, what has transpired so far, has shown that even in Nigeria, despite all our fault lines, there are still patriots who cut across borders, ethnic, religious, whatsoever. And it gives a lot of hope for Nigeria that what we are going through, we will come out stronger. But the onus, the ball is now in the court of our apex court, the Supreme Court. And like I said earlier, we are very grateful that the Chief Justice had made very, very clear points about not technicalities, what the law says, and the law is very, very clear. There will be a lot of things that will be happening in Nigeria in the next couple of days from our knowledge of how Nigeria works. There will be a clampdown on the media space. The media, and we can already observe and see it. Most reports on the Chicago State University fiasco is not reported in what was erstwhile known as Nigeria's mainstream print media outlets, even the electronic media. Most of them don't even report these issues. You will wonder, in a country where the president's credibility, the president's essence, the president's trajectory, his history, his antecedents has been exposed, and it's not even showing up in the media houses. What is the problem? What is the situation? And some of them are now even threatening to ban social media. And they will. In the next couple of days, it's going to be really hot for those who are outspoken, those who speak on social media, those who express opinion, those who speak the truth. The next thing I will say is that there will be some orchestrated violence. But unfortunately for them, because during the elections, they tried their very best to raise ethnic divisions, to raise religious divides, and to try to portray the last votes or the last elections as something that was based on ethnic colorations or religious divides. But in all of it, Nigerians are waxing stronger. So I will just urge Nigerians, let us remain steadfast. We are now approaching the finish line. We are now approaching the end of all these shenanigans which has held us back. We must get it right now. And all it will take is some perseverance. The next few days, the next few weeks will be very, very tough. I can assure you that. I'm in Nigeria, it will be very tough because there will be a lot of throwbacks. They are for now trying to use how will I put it, extreme measures of rumors, but very soon they will unleash these security details, their security forces, the DSS and all that stuff. They will come and try to begin harassing people. But we have to remain strong and resolute because that's the only way we can overcome this mess and help to salvage the image of the country. Thank you very much, and I hope that's not been a very long opening comments. Thanks.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you very much, Barrister Luce, for your elucidation. I just have two questions, and then I go to our audience to ask their questions or make their comments. One, someone argued that even if the certificate that Tinubu submitted to INEC is not or was not produced by Chicago State University, that it is not forgery because he attended the university. He got the degree that he claimed he got. And so if that document he gave to INEC carries his name, states he this certificate that he graduated from Chicago State University, and states the correct degree he earned, that it is not forgery because it is a correct representation of the facts.
Yes.
Despite the fact that the document was not issued by Chicago State University. What is the position of the law on forgery?
Well, the position is very, very clear. Even if my birth certificate, there was an omission, an error. My name is Ezekwesili Eluchie, and instead of making it Ezekwesili with an R-I, they write an L-I. It becomes Ezekwesili. And I go ahead and use a Tipex. It becomes a forgery, basically, because you have altered the original state of an official document. There is a proper process to go through to get that same thing. So you forge it when you alter an official document. Now, in this case, this is not even an official document. It's a document that is unknown to the university. It's the issue that you went through in the school, that you did all the papers, that you came out with the first class. That is not the issue. It's a very technical issue. The issue is the document you presented. Is it from the issuing authority? Like I gave the example of the lady, Mesoma, who formulated her JAMB, whatever. She did pass JAMB. She scored a very good high score. But the fact was that she mutilated, she forged a JAMB result. And for that, she has to serve the penalty according to JAMB, which is that for the next 3 years, she won't take her exams. Good. That is how this things work. It's a very technical issue. Forgery is when you alter, when you write something on a document that is not what the issuing authorities have written. But in this case, it's absolute fraud, absolute forgery, because the document itself, the totality of the document that was submitted to INEC is totally a forgery. It is not the school's production. It is not, like the registrar said, it is from a third party.
All right,
that
our next question
could be an Oluwole or whatever, like we say in Lagos, Oluwole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eluchie. And the next question is, some people also argue that the matter is now before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court does not admit is a court of law where they only decide issues of law and not issues of fact, and that these are facts that should have been pleaded at the lower court, that what is now before the Supreme Court is to decide matters of law. And so this issue of all this evidence from Chicago State University that Atiku has obtained are matters of fact, and therefore will be deemed inadmissible at the Supreme Court. What is your opinion on that?
Well, the Supreme Court in Nigeria is a court of very wide powers, extremely wide. It is a court of law, it is a court of justice, and it's a court of policy. It is a court that can make up its rules as it is going on, and in its efforts to attain justice for what the parties concerned. And it's the ultimate court. Order 2 of the Supreme Court rules provides clearly, Order 2, I think paragraph 12, or there, I'm not very sure of the figures, but I think that's it. Gives the Supreme Court powers to, at any time in the course of a proceeding, to receive whether documentary or oral evidence from the parties. All you need to do is to apply to the Supreme Court, to the panel of the Supreme Court, give reasons why you think this is so special that it must be had at that stage, even if it has not been mentioned at the lower courts. That order of the Supreme Court rules allows the Supreme Court to accept a new witness or a new document at any stage before judgment. In accepting this new document, this same Supreme Court order 2 allows the court not even to hear the other side in the matter. But then if it feels that the justice of the case will be served, if the other side should be heard, it can now give permission to the other side to even address it on that issue. So
okay, let me read that Supreme Court rule and then ask you a question based on it. I thank you very much for looking to it here. The Supreme Court rules order 2, paragraph 12, subparagraph 1 to 3 states.
Yes.
A party who wishes the court to receive the evidence of witnesses, whether they were or were not called at the trial, or to order the production of any document, exhibit, or other thing connected with the proceedings, shall apply for leave on notice of motion prior to the date set down for the hearing of the appeal. Number 2, the application shall be supported by an affidavit of the facts on which the party relies for making it and of the nature of the evidence or the document concerned. 3, it shall not be necessary for the other party to answer the additional evidence intended to be called. So the Supreme Court order is there in bold, black and white. However, another lawyer has argued that this may not apply in an election petition matter. What do you think?
Well, the election petition matter is still coming before the Supreme Court. And you have just read the provisions of the Supreme Court the Supreme Court orders that guide the proceedings in Supreme Court.
The reason why they say that is that the electoral provision, electoral act provision that everything you want to put before the tribunal must be produced within 21 days. Remember, that is why the tribunal struck off 10 witnesses of the Labour Party and took only 3, because it came after the 21-day deadline provided by the electoral act. Does that electoral act deadline also apply to the Supreme Court, or was it only before the tribunal?
The Supreme Court procedures, so whatever comes before the Supreme Court is bound under the Supreme Court procedures. It does not. The Supreme Court has wide power, like I said. It can accept any document, but those are arguments that can be brought before the court. But severally, the courts have been very, 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 very vehement on their powers, and they jealously guard it, that they have that right to hear. If the justice of the case ensures that they have that, they should hear that document, they will take it in. Now, the Supreme Court has also severally, in past cases, even one as late as 2019, one of the justices, I can't quote his name, but they were very, very emphatic on it, on the role the Supreme Court would play in ensuring that forgeries and fakes are not allowed to sneak into the politics of Nigeria. And the Supreme Court has severally held that those who bring in fake documents or produce fake documents to become rulers have no business in political office. And they have struck them out, they have removed them from office. And the examples, there's a plethora of examples where the Supreme Court has held. So we are hopeful that the Supreme Court will also, for the image of the country, for the issue of justice to be upheld, do the rightful thing in this instance.
Thank you very much. Now, let's go to our audience now. Let's enable, so you can raise up your hand, please, and we can call on you if you have a question or if you have a comment, but let's keep it brief so we end on time. I'm seeing a hand, Mr. Godson Moneke. It appears you have no audio, though. I don't know how you will speak. Dr. Ben Chuku, please. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Barrister, and thank you, Daniel, for the opportunity. My question here is, I want to specifically ask, is there any real evidence that Bola A. Tinubu graduated? We saw documents, we saw academic results, but we also saw things that showed that there are requirements that he did not meet. Did he actually, because the barrister mentioned it, yes, that Bola B.A. Tinubu graduated. Was it actually true that there was a certificate at all that exists? That means he exited from the school in way of graduating in 1979. I want him to address that, because if he got to the 3rd year or to the 2nd year and had all those results, but for one reason or the other, he did not graduate, the question Dan asked won't even come in, because forgery for a certificate that don't exist at all, for someone who did not even graduate, but now decided because he has finished his lectures and everything in that university, but for one or the other did not graduate, the person now goes ahead to.
I lost you.
Mr. Luce, you can address some of the issues that we got before he dropped.
Okay. I thought it was only me that lost him. Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you very much. I think, but let me preface responding to that question with this comment. For our purposes in Nigeria, whether he graduated or not is immaterial.
Sorry, my network failed. I hope
Okay.
you got my question.
Yes, I got your question. Yes.
I was disconnected for a while. Please.
Yes. I said for our purposes in Nigeria, that he graduated or not is not really of essence to us. The most important things are, did he submit a fake or forged document certificate to INEC? And if that is the case, the consequences. But with regard from the Chicago State University's depositions, it is clear that Bola A. Tinubu graduated, because they actually have a certificate which is in their possession, which belongs to that Bola A. Tinubu, which has not yet been collected. That is why it was still in their possession. So definitely a Bola A. Tinubu graduated from that institution, and his certificate is still in the possession of Chicago State University. Now, the issue is, if the certificate is still in possession of the Chicago State University and they brought a copy of it to the court, without any equivocations, what was submitted to INEC is a forged document. That's just the clincher, nothing more. I mean, anybody can prevaricate in any way, but that's an answer to that question. I hope that suffices, sir.
It's okay. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I think I'm seeing another hand. Mr. Franklin Ekechuku, please. Your turn.
Yeah, Dan, I want to correct certain things also in this, that the mistake being made, by or the assumption that everybody makes. Listen, in every university in the United States, when you're graduating, they must add your middle name. They must spell it fully. In this case, they say Bola A. So we don't know whether it's Adekunle. We don't know if it's Ahmed. We don't know if it's Adenike. Let's go back and ask everyone who have graduated from any school in the United States. They must spell your full. They must pronounce your full name. Their full name must be there in the university. In the certificate. I went back and I checked mine. I checked my wife's name. I checked everything. You see clearly that my name is Franklin Osondo Ekechuku. They did not put O. I checked my wife's name. It is Rosemary Nkemjika Okafor. They did not put N. So anybody who prays for medical school, any school, any institution in the United States must have or bear the name, their first name, their second name, and then their last name. In Bola Tinubu's certificate, everywhere you put it is Bola A. Tinubu. Now you go to the NYSC, you see Adekunle. Then you go to the initial admission, the secret number used, you see Adenike. That is one of the things that people have to emphasize on. And that's my take.
Yes, I can also concur with that. I mean, mine also has my full names. I mean, so I agree with what Frank is saying. I mean, so a lot of the reality is this: we have before us, fronting as the president of the Federal Republic, a man who, prior to admission to that fake fake college, government college, Lagos. I call it fake because as at when he claimed to be in that school, the school was non-existent. Prior to that, there is no record whatsoever of Bola A. Tinubu in Nigeria. And primary school, none. Secondary school, none. I mean, the school, this same Mr. Bola Tinubu claimed he attended in Lagos, St. John's Aroloya. Lagosians know that that school never existed. I mean, and he tried, when he claimed he was in government college, Ibadan, the old boys tried to have a reception for their old student who had now become a governor, until they realized that there was no person who claimed to be his classmate. So a lot of, that's why we have to be very grateful to the team that has brought all these skeletons together, and we have now seen the ghosts. We have seen the realities. Because this is a process that started way back, over 20 years ago, with the late legal sage, Gani Fahimi, who went all the way, his own way, but thugs at the Lagos High Court smashed up his car, beat him up. And that scared him away from it because his life was at stake. But in this instance, we have a group of the party man and a group of people who were ready to take it to the United States of America to have this matter adjudicated. If that matter had been going on in Nigeria, we wouldn't have gotten this far. So we appreciate, and we must continue to appreciate those who, the Abubakar Atiku team and the PDP that went all the way for helping us to tell the world, this is not who we are. We're not fraudsters, we're not forgers. Nigerians in America are one of the highest educated people, even in England, across the world. We are hardworking.
Let's take another hand. Thank you very much. Mr. Theodore, please.
Dan. Please, I want to add on that.
I have been raising my hand, Daniel.
I've
been raising my hand to talk.
My name has been called. Let's be orderly, please. We all talk, but my name has been called. So
please, let me add something, sir, please. You see, I feel like Nigerians are dancing around the truth. We all know that this Bola Tinubu stole the passport of one Bola Tinubu, the real daughter of.
We don't know that. I don't know where you knew that from.
No, we don't know that.
Let us face facts. We don't know that. I don't know that about this thing. I don't know that.
To help you in this assertion that you want to make.
Yes.
Yeah, please. My name is Olorogun Theodore Areki. And first of all, I concur with the last speaker about certificates. Yeah, in this part of the world, initials mean a lot. So John Smith, if he has a middle name, the middle name has to be spelled clearly because there are many John Smiths in this part of the world. So initials are not abbreviated in certificates. I agree with that. Thank you very much for bringing up that. Now, sir, barrister, we are dealing with something very, very, very serious. I'm ashamed of Nigerians. I will tell you this because in 1991, I married my wife in Nigeria, March 31st. My wife was born in England in 1966. In 1968, her parents, after graduation, relocated back to Nigeria. And my wife never came back to the UK until I married her in Nigeria in March 1971. While I was marrying my wife, March 31st, 1991, Ekolanle Oluwale was marrying my wife in England, April 1st, 1991.
Yeah.
They dug into the ancestry website and they find names of people. And they pull out this birth certificates and whatever, all this information from the system here, because the system is lenient. And they use this certificate, birth certificates and whatever. This is what we are dealing with in Nigeria. It's not only my wife, because my mother-in-law and my father-in-law had her elder brother and my wife. That same 1991, January, my brother-in-law, who was in Ekpoma University, was marrying a Bolanle something Yoruba name in this country, in the